My name is Peter Istead. I am the Managing Director of the UK Morgan Philips Group companies. And that might be a little bit confusing for you because I know you probably interact with people and think, well, that's not who I was speaking to. So let me very briefly, if you'll indulge myself to explain a little bit about who Morgan Philips Group are, and then you'll see how it fits in. So we have recently been acquired by Morgan Philips Group. That took place about 3 months ago. They are a global executive search and recruitment business. And we fit into their portfolio as follows. You will have come across almost certainly our Hudson recruitment business. Indeed, there are some represented here today. And you won't yet, but you will come across our executive search business, which is very much set up purely for executive search space. The business you will interact with this morning is our talent consulting business, so Morgan Philips Talent Consulting. Very quickly to explain what they do. First things, it is not a recruitment business, okay? It is a talent consulting business. No recruiters work in that space, purely people who are either occupational psychologists or professional assessors. We do some of our services that do support the recruitment business, and I'll just explain what they are. So the first thing that we do is talent management, more traditional talent management, which you probably will have come across. And that is assessment for selection and development, much more at an individual level. And we do that by using our proprietary psychometrics. We've been doing that for over 20 years. And we do that on competency-based assessments. And uniquely, and this is globally uniquely, so here's a bit of a sales pitch, mindset assessment. So we have the ability to assess someone's mindset, their preference for work, and how they like to work. And that is very valuable, as you know, in the new modern world. So it's not based on competencies, it's based on approach and preferences. And obviously, some of you have experienced our individual purpose measure, which is the start of a process which you are helping us with, so thank you, to build out a scientific-based psychometric assessment for individual purpose, which will allow individuals to discover what purpose they are attracted to. And if they can match that in an organisation, hopefully we can see how that might work. All of our psychometrics are British Psychology Society accredited. We believe that everything we do should be based not only on facilitation, but also science, so that we create data for you and fact, as opposed to just running workshops and hoping we get there. On top of that, we then do our talent consulting. And this is the bit you're going to experience today, which is looking more at team and organisational level consulting. And that manifests itself in terms of building out competency frameworks for your organisation. So if you understand the competencies that you need that are key to your organisation, we can build frameworks for you. Leadership development, and that's not just standard leadership development, looking at how you can look after the leaders of your organisation only and think about your succession planning, but it's about looking at leadership throughout your organisation. We fundamentally believe that leaders are all levels, so you can identify from an individual leading at an individual level all the way up to organisation, and make sure you identify that talent, develop that talent, but most importantly, keep that talent engaged, which, as we know, is a massive challenge for you guys in the modern world. And also mindset heat mapping. So we've talked about mindset. So being able to then look at heat maps across your organisation by looking at individual assessments, which allows you to look at team makeups. How are teams likely to approach challenges, problems and projects? But also, when you're putting project teams together, either for customers or for yourselves, how are they likely to interact and deliver those particular projects? And this has been really key in some of our customers where they are delivering projects to end solutions, and when they hit road problems along the road and a bump, they're able to then look at the mindset, change the team a bit, and drive through a problem. So that's been really, that's a new development in our organisation. And then also taking from individual purpose up to organisational purpose, which is something, a little bit of an experience dipping the toe in the water today. And then finally, helping organisations with culture, DNA as some would call it, and developing out their EVPs. The last thing I really want to touch on is predictive services. So this is the use of AI and machine learning to help you build bespoke models of the data generated out of your organisation to start building predictive models to allow you again to look at your talent throughout your organisation as it develops in terms of performance, potential and satisfaction. And that also helps, as I said, in the mindset teaming process I was talking about with the mindset heat mapping. So that's what we do. It's very separate from recruitment, but you can use it complementary to recruitment as well. So, before I hand over to Tim Sparks, I just thought I'd quickly run through what you should expect from today. So there are sort of 3 parts to it. Firstly, we're going to do a bit of theory. Always like a bit of theory. Something that gives you something to ground everything off, which will hopefully help in terms of convincing people in your organisation that there's validity behind what we do. And Dr. Tim will cover that. We're also going to do have a little bit of look at organisational purpose in terms of its validity. How does it work? How does it appeal? What's the emotional connection to it? And then finally, we're going to spend a little bit of time on individual purpose. Because if you don't understand your own individual purpose, it's quite difficult to build out a purpose for an organisation. I think it lacks a bit of credibility. And hopefully, that little bit of exposure to each of those things will start the mind going on how you might want to take it forward for your organisation. For me personally, this has been a really important exercise. As a group of companies coming together, forming for the first time and thinking, how the hell are we going to go forward and what are we going to stand for? We've eaten our own dog food, as they say, and have used the organisational purpose process in our organisation. We had all our leaders together 4 or 5 weeks ago and took them through a more in-depth workshop than we're going to touch on today. And that has informed a level of purpose that we believe will work for the organisation. But the most important thing we're now doing is going to every single individual in the global organisation to do the same process. That information will form up, we'll synthesise that, and we'll end up, I think, with hopefully a compelling purpose for our organisation, but also that can be adjusted at individual level and local country level for culture and location, which means hopefully everything stays online. And for our organisation, it's going through huge change, and I guess most are, it will give us that sort of guiding star and keeps us on track.